right over there, and I don't know what it was. It seemed like my chest was hurt for some reason, but I prayed, and I don't feel that no more. The devil is hindering, Sister Deb. You know, I like to think that the other day, it seemed like I was at church. It just seemed like everything just seemed like it wasn't going right for me. It seemed like tired, I was sick, I wasn't thinking right. And I sat down there and I was a praying little kid, and I felt like the Lord told me, He says, when I'm going to do something, the devil's going to try his best to stop it. When not that many words, but you know, He said, when I'm going to do something, the devil's going to hinder it. So I thank the Lord tonight. I appreciate everybody obeying the Lord and testifying. You know, like Mom said, it's a little bit late, but maybe I won't preach too long. I'm just going to obey the Lord. That's just the only way I know to do it, Sister Deb. I don't have an off button, an on button. And I've been to churches, and I know one church in particular, especially when they have an eating, he tells the people out in his audience, you tell me when it's time for me to stop, and I'll stop. And that's not the way I do it. I'm not going to drag it out on purpose, but if the Lord has me preach 2 hours, I preach 2 hours. But if He has me preach 20 minutes, that's good. That's good for me. Good for all of us. But I was thinking, you know, this message I have on my heart tonight is a little bit different than the way the service has been going tonight. I don't know. I sat over there and I was not fighting with it, but I was just thinking, Lord, why has all these people been testifying so good? Why has all this been going on? And why is my message is not so different? But the Lord just let me know, go ahead and preach it. So I had this message come on my heart a couple weeks ago, I guess. Or actually, it wasn't a couple weeks ago, it was last Wednesday when we was reading the Bible back there, the boys, me and Mom. I'm going to start reading over in Matthew chapter 1, verse number 19. Matthew chapter 1, verse number 19. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privately. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. We're going to go over to the book, or the same book, Matthew chapter 26. Matthew chapter 26 and verse number 7. Matthew 26 and verse number 7. There came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, and as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, and said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good word upon me. We'll go over to the book of Mark, chapter 9, and verse number 38. They're very different scriptures tonight. Lord will have His way. Mark 9 and 38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name, and he followed not us. And we forbade him, because he followed not us. But Jesus said, Forbid him not, for there is no man which shall do a miracle in my name that can lightly speak evil of me. For he that is not against us is on our part. Can we go to the Lord in prayer? Lord, Heavenly Father, I thank you, Jesus, for this day. Lord, I'm nothing, Jesus. Lord, I'm but a grain of sand. Lord, I'm but a grain of leaf of world stairs. Lord, God, I ask you, Lord, adore that servant. Lord, Lord, be with me and the children, Lord. Preach your word, because that's all I need. Lord, I just look to her, God, I'm nothing great, Lord, I can barely speak, Lord. But God, you can have your way. Hallelujah, Lord. You can have your way. Lord, I believe you. I trust you, Jesus. I trust you, Lord. I ask you, Lord, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I read 3 passages of scripture here. 2 of them was in the same book, and one of them was in a different one. But all these 3 scriptures that we read were different. You know, I've never heard a preacher preach on these 3 scriptures together, but I believe once I say the thought that the Lord gave me, we'll all realize what it is. But the thought that came on my heart about a week ago, I guess, Sister Deb, was jumping to conclusions. That's what the thought, that little simple phrase right there is what I'm going to preach on tonight, I guess, is jumping to conclusions. And just what does that mean? I know what I thought it meant, but this is actually what the definitions of that phrase, jumping to conclusion, means. It means when one judges or decides something without having all the facts. And then the word judge that was in there said when one judges, the word judge is to form an opinion to form an opinion through careful weighing evidence and testing of premises. And what the word judge means is when you carefully weigh the evidence. But what this word, jumping to conclusion, what this phrase means is when you don't. When you make up in your mind what you think something's going to be without knowing it for sure. And I read to us 3 scriptures here over there. Joseph, I know Joseph was meaning well, because Joseph was a just man, Brother Key, but he didn't understand why Mary was with child, and yet she knew no man. He didn't understand how the woman that he was going to marry was with child. So Joseph, not knowing, he said, he was a just man. So he said, I'm going to put her away privately because, I don't want to make her public, you know how people were in that days. They would have classified her as a whore or harlot. But Joseph here, he didn't understand all this stuff, but he was jumping to a conclusion. He was jumping to a conclusion, hey, this has happened, and I've got to do something about it. But yet the angel of the Lord came to him and said, Joseph, fear not to take Mary thy wife, that is which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And then we read over to us about how I believe it was Mary came, or another Mary came, and she had broke the alabaster box on Jesus, and she was anointing him. But yet the disciples got mad. They had indignation in their heart because here this precious ointment is sitting here getting poured out and wasted. They thought they were jumping to conclusions because Jesus ended up telling us that she had wrought a good work. The disciples didn't see that. They didn't see the good work that Mary was going for right there. They didn't see that. All they seen was this ointment that they could have sold for money being poured out on the ground, poured out over Jesus, but they were jumping to conclusions. Then we read to us about John and the other disciples. They seen another person casting out devils in Jesus' name, and they jumped to conclusions. They said because he ain't part of us, he has got the wrong spirit. Because he ain't affiliated with us, because he ain't one of the 12, he has no right to be doing that. But yet Jesus told them, if they're not against us, they're for us. There's 3 cases right here, and I'm sure there was a lot more in the Bible where people were jumping to conclusions. But what I felt like talking to us tonight is how us as Christians can jump to conclusions about some things. We can see somebody do something and we'll automatically jump to a conclusion, or we'll judge them falsely. That's why I really felt in my heart tonight was about judging people falsely. And how we just glimpse at something and we see somebody doing something and we just automatically, they're doing wrong, they ain't right, we're going to judge them, we're going to run them down, but we are all jumping to conclusions. I was thinking about me several times. I made the mistake of jumping to a conclusion, Sister Deb. I would go see, to catch a glimpse of somebody doing something, and I'd run and tell this and over here, and this and over here. This is before I got saved, but I'd run over here and I'd tell this, and then I'd tell this, and then I'd tell this, and about what I seen this person do. When it come to find out a couple of days later, it wasn't at all what that person was doing. It wasn't at all. I was jumping to conclusions because I was judging these people. I was looking at what they were doing and not my own self. Hallelujah. But I started thinking about that, how we jump to conclusions so many times, and how our jumping to conclusions can hurt people, how our false judging people can hurt people and discourage people. I started thinking about Dad, how he got into church the first time and he was doing good, but yet things happened. Dad was a young Christian the way I understand it. I don't remember it back then, but yet things had to happen. People just had to say things. And Dad ended up being a drunkard again. He ended up getting hooked back on alcohol. Thank God he saved him again. But what if the person that made that mistake of judging him and doing that to him, what if they would have not jumped to conclusions? What if they would have just held their peace and went to him privately and talked to him like the Bible teaches us to talk to people? What if that would have happened? Would have Dad backslid? Would he have went back to drinking, or he would have still been a Christian? Would he have still went on for God? Oh, would he have still? Hallelujah. That's what I'm trying to say today. How sometimes our mouths can get us into trouble, and sometimes our actions can get us into trouble. I'd be afraid tonight to offend one of God's little ones, because that's one thing he says in the Bible. He says it'd be better for you to wrap a millstone around your neck and to be cast into the sea than to you offend one of his little ones. And you know how much a little bitty word can offend somebody this morning. You know how much a word or action or deed, a dirty look, you know how that can offend somebody tonight. You know a person that's a struggling and a trying. They're trying to do their best for God. They're trying to do their best. They're doing good. In their own eyes, they're doing what they know. But there's somebody that thinks they're better than them can cast them a whole dirty look and it makes them feel like they're dirt. Hallelujah. I feel like a lot of times, we make people feel like they're dirt because they ain't doing all that we're doing, because they don't know all that we know. But you know, we're jumping to conclusions tonight. So many times we make the mistakes of judging people and we hurt people and we don't even realize it. You know how many times I've been hurt by what church people have said? You know how many times I'm sure each and every one of us has been hurt by something that a church person has said. And a church hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. It really does. It's like a double-edged sword going in and out of you. It don't go away. It's there and it lingers. It lingers. I remember one day I walked out of a fellowship hall and I heard two people talking. It was the pastor's wife and somebody else. And it was just a running their mouth about somebody else. You know how much that hurt me, Brother Keith. You know how much that hindered me, that I wouldn't even go back to that church for about a year, because these people that were supposed to be so holiness, these people that were supposed to be so godly were sitting there talking about other people. You know how bad that looks. Hallelujah. God don't call us to be talebearers. No, God don't call us to gossip. God don't call us to look down at people, but He calls us to love and do good to people. He calls us to help the poor and help the widow. He calls us to help the new Christian in Christ. You know, the Bible says even as babes desire the sincere milk. You know, when a person gets saved, they ain't going to be able to eat a steak. They're not going to be able to know what you know tonight, what I know tonight. But when a person truly, when they first get saved, they're going to have to drink the milk. They're going to have to drink the milk. But you know how many times church folks try to shove a steak down their mouth, or church folks try to shove religion down their mouth, and they can't handle it. They still drinking the milk. I didn't get where I'm at overnight. I didn't get it by people shoving it down me. I got to where I got because people were praying for me, because people were telling me, you know, they were teaching me the way. They didn't just, you know, I didn't get saved and people expected me to do right. They had to show me it was a growing period. I didn't just, you know, get saved and ended up, you know, the way I am, but I had to grow. But you know how many times church people, hallelujah, jump to a conclusion and they see this and over here do this, and we automatically say, well, they're wrong. They ain't no good. Hallelujah, but yet, you know, we don't take time to look at ourselves. Hallelujah, I believe I'm going to read one more scripture to us tonight. Hallelujah. I pray I can obey the Lord tonight. Hallelujah. Matthew chapter 7 and verse number 1. Judge not that ye be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye mete, ye shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eyes, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, the beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Hallelujah, that right there sums it up a lot to me. That sums it up, Sister Deb, to me, so that if I'm not doing all that I know to do, if I ain't doing every little thing that I know to do, I have no business casting judgment on somebody else. When I know that there are things in my life that need fixed, when I can sit and say that, hey, this is wrong, hey, I'm not right in this, I have no business trying to help somebody else when I cannot help myself. You know, I'm a firm believer in this right here, and I'll stand on it till the day I die. Hallelujah. If I'm not where I need to be with the Lord, I will not get up behind this pulpit and try to help somebody else, because if I'm not where I need to be and I can't help myself, there is no way that I'll be able to help somebody else. But hallelujah, we got to quit judging other people. We got to quit looking down at other people, because we got to start looking at ourselves. It's time that we start carrying around a mirror in our back pocket, so to speak. And when we feel ourselves want to look at somebody else, when we feel ourselves want to start looking at this, and when we feel ourselves start want to look at this, and let's pull out that mirror, and let's start looking at ourselves. Let's start pulling out the beam out of our own eye. Hallelujah. A lot of times when we start looking at our faults, that other person's faults don't look near as big as ours do. Hallelujah. But so many people are jumping to conclusions. They're looking down on people. They ain't treating people right, and it's causing people to go from God. God is love tonight. God is love, and God expects His children to be loved. I'm not saying condone sin. If a person's a sinner and they ask me if it's sin, I will tell them it's sin. But that God don't want us to go around and beat people over the head with it tonight. Hallelujah. We have to accept it. They cannot be forced to accept it. You cannot force your family members to be saved. You cannot make them be saved. But you can live a life in front of them. You can show them just how good it is to be a Christian, and it'll do more than you forcing it down their throat. Hallelujah. I never had nobody going, get saved. You've got to get saved. You've got to get saved. You've got to do right. You've got to do this. I knew it was the truth. They never had to tell me. I knew that I needed saved. I knew that. But what yet? I would go to church, Uncle Larry, and I'd sit on the back pew, and I'd look up there, and I'd see men and women of God with their hands raised to praising God. And I'd be sitting back there in the back, and my heart would just be aching, saying, I want what they got. I want what they got. I want to be up there with them. I want my hands raised one more time. I want to be up there praising God. But yet I'm sitting back here. That was more of a light to me than anybody trying to beat me over the head. I think what a lot of people's got wrong today is religion. I feel like people are so hung on religion and hung on traditions that they look over the Word of God. I looked up the definition for religion, and this is part of the definition for religion. It was kind of lengthy, so I didn't write it all down. But religion means an organized system of beliefs. That's what religion is. It's an organized system of beliefs. And I want to mention this tonight. And this really, since I read this probably about a year ago, I guess, I read this, and this really stuck with me, Brother Keith. Karl Marx was an atheist. He was a communist. He came up with Marxism. And he was just a babe. He was just an atheist. He didn't believe in God. But this is a statement that he made, and I want us all just to grasp this tonight. This is an atheist, a person that don't believe in a God. He says religion is an opium to the people. Religion is an opium to the people, and opium is a drug. What he was saying there is a religion is just something that you just make them feel good for a little while. It won't last. It won't last. Religion ain't going to last. That man was an atheist, and he had a hold of that. He said a religion is just something to make the people feel good for a little while. And I started thinking about that, how many people with religion have lived around him. And I was just thinking about it. I don't know nothing about Karl Marx except he's an atheist. And he made that quote right there. But I started thinking he probably seen somebody that claimed to be religious. He probably seen somebody. And you just bear with me. I don't know. I'm using my imagination here, I guess. But he probably lived around somebody that claimed to be religious. Maybe it was his parents that claimed to be religious. And maybe these people that he lived around that were religious, maybe he seen them do good on Sunday morning. And maybe he seen them do good on Sunday night. And maybe a little bit on Wednesday, just long enough to get inside from work, get cleaned up, and go to church. But the rest of the week they lived like the same as he did. I wonder if that's what caused him to say that. I wonder if he seen somebody claim to have something but didn't really have it. I wonder if that's what caused him to say that. But I've said all this to say is it's time that we check ourselves. It's time that we see our own hearts tonight. Let's not worry about nobody else's tonight. Let's not worry about our brother down the road or our sister next door. Let's not worry about the church over yonder or the church over yonder. Well, let's start looking at ourselves and let's see if we have religion or we have a relationship. You know, there's a difference tonight. A relationship is a daily walk. It's a daily communication with the Lord. It's a daily thing. A relationship goes on continually, but it's more than just an organized system of beliefs. A relationship is a walk with God. It's a walk side by side with Jesus Christ tonight. It's a walk through the valley. It's a walk up the mountaintop. It's more than just a religion. It's more than just an obligation on Sunday morning. It's more than just an obligation on Sunday night, but it's a way to live tonight. It's a good, true holiness way. It's a true holiness way. Hallelujah. That's what a relationship is. And I feel like we got so hung on religion, hallelujah, that we spend all our time going by our beliefs. You know, I know a lot of people, hallelujah, and I've seen it done several times. How people have the church doctrine. People have the church doctrine. As long as they got the church doctrine underway, they don't care about what's in the Bible. It seems like whenever it comes to living right, it seems like they'll fold the Bible up. It seems like they'll just fold the Bible up and they'll set it in a corner. But they have their traditions. They have the roles that they've been taught so many years. And as long as you dress right, as long as you got the skirt to the floor, as long as you got, you know, the hair long, you know, jewelry on, as long as you got this on, you can gossip about your brother. As long as you got the look right, as long as you got the look right, you can talk about your sister. You can judge the little crippled man over on the side of the road. You can hate the drunkard, you can hate the drug addict. But as long as you got religion right, as long as you got the church doctrine to T, you are all right. That is wrong tonight. Hallelujah. It is just as important to love your brother and love your sister as it is to wear a skirt. It's just as important to take care of the sick as it is to dress right. It's just as important, hallelujah, not to gossip as it is to wear long hair and short hair. It is just as important. There's not one word in the Bible that's greater than the other one. Hallelujah. There's not. God meant for us to live by every single word in this Bible. Every single word. God did say as long as you do 2 out of 3, you're right. God wants 100% tonight, and I feel like we know this. I feel like we know it in our mind, but I don't feel like it's sunk into the heart yet. I feel like we know it, but do we believe it? Do we believe that God's really going to send us to hell for one mistake? Do we really believe that tonight? I don't know if we do. We know it. We've been taught it our whole lives. We've been taught that it's 100 or it's nothing. But do we really believe it in our hearts that we're going to have to give God every single thing? We're going to have to give up everything that means more to us than He does. We're going to have to if we're going to serve God right. Hallelujah, because it is a true walk. Every word in this Bible is true. We are supposed to live by every single word of it. And what I said all this to say is until you can look at yourself and until you can say that you live from Genesis to Revelations, don't be looking at your brother. Don't be looking at your sister. Don't be looking at the drug addict and the drunkard and condemning them when you ain't got enough sense to condemn yourself by the Word of God. Hallelujah. There's a verse in the Bible when it says something about, woe unto you that condemn your brother, because you need to be God. I'm paraphrasing it. Woe unto you that condemn somebody else when you need to be condemning yourself. Hallelujah. That's all I'm trying to say tonight. Until you can stand up here and you can say, I serve God with everything. Until you can stand up here and you can say that I live by the Word of God. You don't need to be looking at nobody else. You don't need to be looking at your mote in your brother's eye when you got a beam in your own. Hallelujah. I don't know what a mote and a beam means, but in my mind, I can see that mote as being a little bitty speckle. I can see that mote being as not big as anything, but I can see that beam being something real big. Hallelujah. I'm just trying to tell us tonight, be careful. Don't jump to conclusions. What if Joseph would have put Mary away? Hallelujah. What if that would have happened? I know it didn't happen, and I thank God it didn't. But what would have happened, Brother Key, if Joseph would have just looked at Mary and she says, tell her that she ain't no good, put her away? What if that would have happened? What if that little woman, what if Peter, and what if the disciples looked at that little woman with a box of oil? What if they would have condemned her to scorn and cast her about what would have happened. What if John and them would have went over to that man casting out devils and told him to be quiet, not to speak no more, not to do that no more? What would have happened? But because they jumped to conclusions, they accused these people. I just felt like telling us tonight, I know it seemed harsh, and I know it seemed hard, but it's the Word of God tonight. I'm not telling you nothing that ain't in the Bible. Hallelujah, we've got to live by God's Word. We've got to get rid of religion, and we got to start paying attention to every little word. Hallelujah. We pay so much attention on the thing, so to speak. Hallelujah. I know people that say you can't wear short sleeves, and I know people say you can't do this and you can't do that, but yet, none of that's in the Bible. Hallelujah. Not to have beard. I can't find that in the Bible. If you know where it's at, show me. Or I can't find in the Bible where it says you can't wear short sleeves. I don't know where that's at. If you can find it, find me. But yet they'll make all these traditions, and they'll make people live by it, and they'll make themselves live by it. Hallelujah. But yet the things that are in the Bible, the things that are written in black and white, red, hallelujah, that's the things that they look clean over. Because they get so hung up in religion. Get so hung up in traditions that it seems like I heard a preacher preach one time, and it was so real what he said. He said this, he said, I don't know, this is what the preacher said. He says, I don't know whoever said to be holiness, you have to be hateful. Because that's not true. That's not true tonight. But yet you see some people, and you go up to them, even some people that I go up to, and you just don't seem like you're good enough for them. Don't seem like you'll ever be good enough for them. It's like they've already made it and you're way down here. That ain't right, folks. That ain't right tonight. Hallelujah, it ain't right. Hallelujah, we want to be humble. We want to be as low as we can go because we're nothing. Hallelujah, we're but the servants of Jesus Christ. We're not worth anything but what His blood is on our lives. That's all that I'm worth, is the precious blood that He shed for me. I know I'm a child of a king by that blood, but while I'm in this earthly state, while I'm in this fleshly state, I'm no better than nobody else. Hallelujah, just because I preach, just because, hallelujah, that the Lord bless me, helps me, just because I've got the Holy Ghost, I'm no better than nobody else. I feel like Paul, the Apostle Paul, was one of the greatest apostles. He wrote just about, I believe he wrote more books in the Bible than anybody else. Paul was a great man. He was educated. But yet Paul made this statement. He says, I'm the least of the apostles. Hallelujah. Even if anybody was the greatest of the apostles, I say it was Paul. But yet in Paul's eyes, he was the least of the least. He was the least of the apostles. We've got to get back to the place where we're begging the Lord and not telling the Lord. Hallelujah. I feel like that sometimes. I feel like where we used to be down and we used to seek the Lord. We used to say, Lord, please help us, Lord. Please, Lord. Please, Jesus, we need you to move. Lord, I'll do whatever it takes. Now we just expect the Lord to do it. We just expect the Lord. We want to live how we want to live. We want to do what we want to do, but yet we want to tell the Lord what to do. Hallelujah. I know the Bible says you ask anything in my name and I'll do it. I know that, but yet when I ask the Lord, son, I like saying please. I like being mannerful to the Lord. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but I don't ever want to ask the Lord just to tell him. I want to ask the Lord. I want to say, Lord, would you please help me? Lord, would you please go with me? Lord, I don't want to just tell the Lord. I don't think that's right. I don't know. I just like asking the Lord. But yet we've got to get to the place where we're the lowest. Because the Bible says, He says, if a man think himself to be something, beware lest he fall. Hallelujah. That's where we got to be tonight. Another thing I have to point out tonight, I guess, is how if they ain't in our religion, if they ain't in our denomination, we look down on them, I guess, is what the mindset is. And I've learned not to do that, Brother Key. I've learned by the Word of God and by Him talking to me that it don't matter. I've got a buddy, and I'll be honest with you, he got saved probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And since then, I ain't heard him cuss. Since then, I ain't saw him do this. I ain't saw him do that. He's quit dipping. Out that tobacco that had him bound so long, he was able to turn it loose. Because I feel like in my heart, I feel like he truly got saved. But yet he goes to a Baptist Baptist church now. He don't go to Holiness Church. Yeah, he don't go to Holiness Church. And a lot of people, when they see that he goes to a Baptist church, they say he ain't no good. But when I can look at a person, Sister Deb, and when I can see the hand of God when they're changing the person, when I can see God working on a person, I ain't got a bit to judge him about. I don't want to judge nobody like that. You know, when the Lord's working on them, I feel like that's what hurts a lot of people. I had a cousin, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me here or not, but this is how I feel tonight. I had a cousin, he was in a Baptist church, Sister Dan. He got saved, he gave his heart to the Lord. He quit a drinking, he quit a partying, he quit cussing, he quit carrying on. But yeah, because he didn't go to the church of God, yeah, because he didn't go to Holiness Church, he got cut down, he got beat over the head, he got condemned to hell because he listened to K-Love instead of Southern Gospel. He done all this because he still hung out with nobody, but yet God was working with him. They didn't give God no time to work with him. You know, I feel like in my heart if they would have gave him a little bit more time, if he could have just had maybe 2 or 3 more months, I feel like God could have saved. You know, I feel like God could have helped him. But yet we were so ugly. I wasn't ugly too, but yet people were so ugly to him. People just made him feel like he was a sinner. People made him feel like he was dirt, that he just quit. He quit altogether. He quit altogether. Hallelujah. Yet the person that told him that, he looked at him and the person went up to him and told him that he was going to hell, Sister Deb. This is what a person told him. He told him, he went up to Clay and he says, "You're going to hell." And Clay looked at him and he says, "You're going to get there before I am, so save me a seed." Hallelujah. That's what kind of mindset Clay had. Because these people that had all that they had, because people that were all so-called already made it, looked at him and told him this. But yet he knew different. He knew that these people are not living alive. He knew that this person wasn't living alive. So you know what? He knew. He seen more than they did. He seen more than they did, but yet now Clay, he's worse than I've ever seen him. He don't hardly come home no more. I don't hardly see him. He'll be gone and he'll come home and you don't see him. He's off on his motorcycle somewhere. He's out doing this, he's out doing that. He's got people over all the time. You know, I just think about a year ago or a year or two ago, Sister Ted, he was having Bible studies in his backyard. He was going to church just about every night of the week. But because people didn't jump to conclusions, because people judged him, because people were hateful to him, he failed. I don't want to be that person tonight. I don't want to be a person that'll hurt anybody tonight. I don't want to hurt nobody. And like I said, if I'm telling you the truth, and if God sends me to send a message, I'm going to do it. But yet just to hurt somebody, I would be ashamed. But you know, I don't know why I feel like this. I'm trying to hurry tonight. But we better be careful about talking about people. We better be careful about talking about people because, I'd hate to get to heaven one day and there be that person that I put down and there be that person that I talked about behind their back. Oh, I don't want to be that. Oh, church, we better quit. We better quit gossiping. We better quit worrying about other people. I know we need to care about people. I know people need to get saved, but it's time we start looking in the mirror.
Come on.
It's time we start looking at ourselves. You know how much hurt it can be, just one word. And you know what? Something about words tonight is you can't take them back. No, you can't take them back. There's a story, I will say this, unless the Lord gives me something, I ain't going to preach much longer, but there's a story. And this boy, he had a problem. I've said it here before, but I will say it again. This boy had a problem with being ugly to people. He had a problem with anger, and he'd be ugly to people. He would just put people down. And his dad told him, he says, every day until you start doing better, every time you think an ugly word about somebody, every time you say something to anybody, you go out to the fence and you drive a nail into that fence. And he had to do that every day. And it came a one day, like the first day, he put so many holes in it. He put so many nails in that fence. I think the first day it was like 7 holes. Then the second day it was maybe 6 or 5 holes. The third day it was about 3, it just kept on narrowing down. And one day he didn't have to drive a nail. He didn't have to put a nail in that fence because he didn't say nothing ugly about anybody. He didn't talk about anybody. He didn't lose his anger. But yet he came to his dad and he said, what do? I didn't have to put a nail in the fence today. And his dad told him, he says, every day that you don't say something about somebody, every day you don't be ugly, you go out there and you take a nail out. Hallelujah. But so long the other way, he got all the nails out. And he went to his dad and he says, Dad, there ain't no more nails in the fence. He said, okay, son. He got his son and he walked him out there to the fence. And he says, it don't matter if you take the words back. Once they're said, once that nail is drove in that fence, there's always going to be a hole there. There's always going to be a hole there. It don't matter if you take the word back. You take the nails back. If you try to say, I'm sorry, you say, I forgive, forgive me, them holes are still going to be there. They're still going to be there. We better be careful tonight. We better be careful. Like I said, I don't know why I felt like this on my heart tonight. But yeah, I just felt it so strong on my heart that we've got to be careful. We've got to be careful. Start looking at yourself tonight. I feel like, I don't know why I keep on saying this, but this is what I feel on my heart. Hallelujah, the Bible says, work out your own soul salvation. Hallelujah, the Bible says, work out your own soul salvation. Hallelujah, each time we start working on our own self, or by the time the Lord comes back here, we'll find ourselves lacking. We're going to find ourselves empty because we've been worried about this and because we've been looking at this, but we ain't been looking at ourselves. We're going to find ourselves slack.
Lord, praise God.
The 5 wise virgins, they knew if they would have gave them 5 foolish their oil, they wouldn't have had enough to make it. So they held on to what they had. They kept it themselves, so to speak. They kept what they had to have to make it through. And they got to enjoy it. They got to go in with the bridegroom, but yet the 5 foolish didn't. I've said this before too, but I'm going to say it again. I believe it's the Song of Solomon. I don't know it word for word, but since I read it, it stuck with my heart. Stuck in my mind. The woman that was talking in Song of Solomon, she says, I'm putting it in my own words because I don't know it word for word. She says, my vineyard is grown up because I've been working my brother's and my sister's vineyards. That's what's in the Bible. I mean, I can find it for you at the church. It says, so to speak, I can't say it exactly, but what she was saying, she said, because I've been helping him, because I've been worried about my brother, because I've been worried about my sister, my vineyard is grown up. I ain't been taking care of mine, I've been taking care of them, but yet mine is grown up now. I'd hate to find myself on Judgment Day and the Lord say, depart from me, because I've been worried about so much about other people. Yes, we need to go about people to church. Yes, we need to witness to people, but we don't need to judge people. We don't, because we're not the judge tonight. We're not the judge. We're not. The Bible says, what manner you judge others, that's the way the Father's going to judge us. Let's keep this on our hearts. I've done a terrible job bringing it forth, but I feel like I've obeyed the Lord. Let's not judge nobody. Let's not jump to conclusions, because we can do more harm than we can good. We can do more harm than we can good. There's one of the foolish statements I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard, some people say it's a true statement, but I think it's false. And I figure you all know what I'm fixing to say. That old wise fable says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words have never hurt me. That's a false. I feel like it's false anyway. You may feel different, but I've been hurt by words tonight. I've been hurt by words, Like I said, I came out of church one day. I told the story about how I used to sit on the back row and watch people up there praising God and shouting and all this stuff. And I sat back there. I used to watch them. But yet I walked outside of Fellowship Hall one day, Sister Deb, and I seen the same people talking about somebody else. Talking about another church. That's what was bad about it. And that hurt my heart, how these people could go up and they could praise God and they could shout, but yet they could talk and they could be ugly about somebody else. let's be careful about what you say, because there's always somebody listening. There always is, you know. It might be behind a car, or maybe there might not be nobody at all, but God knows. I wish, I know it's late, I know it's past 9 o'clock, but if we would, could we please come around the altar tonight and pray? Let's pray God give us strength of when to talk and when to keep our mouths shut. I love the Lord tonight, and I pray, hallelujah, that I ain't said nothing out of the way, and I feel like I stayed in the Bible, or I feel like I've obeyed the Lord anyway. So can we all come around and pray? Let's not talk about nobody. Let's not judge nobody. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord.
And there's another lady, her name is Miss Rita, and she's asked for us to pray for her children. Her son and her daughter-in-law, I reckon, got divorced. But she says she knows it wasn't God's will, and she's just praying that they get back together before anything else, happens. So y'all just remember them when y'all pray. They're good, sweet women.
Let's remember this.
Please remember me.
Mother's got a pinched nerve in her